This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Sources confirm that the DMK and Congress sealed the deal with the 60 seats, a big jump up for the Congress from 48 seats in the last elections. Madras High Court rejects Sri Lankan Minister Douglas Devananda's anticipatory bail plea in a murder case. The Election Commission gets down to the do's and don'ts, a detailed expenditure guideline ahead of the elections. AIADMK is the latest in the line of political parties demanding rescheduling of the polls, suggests late April or early May as an alternative. Arama's phones being tapped. AIADMK MPs say so, demand a probe and the PM's intervention. A Hollywood sensation is set for making its debut in India. Will Black Swan impress the Indian audiences? Very good evening and welcome to Late Night News with me, Ashmit. Let's take a look at what else is making news across the country. The Supreme Court strikes down P.J. Thomas's appointment as Central Vigilance Commissioner, says the Prime Minister's panel failed to consider the integrity of the institution. Under attack from the opposition, the Prime Minister tells NDTV he respects the verdict and will make statements in both the houses. What is going on? The top court slams the government on the black money probe into the alleged tax evader Hassan Ali. Gaddafi loyalists nabbed Dutch Marines engaged in rescue operations are subjected to intensive interrogation as per reports. Steve Jobs makes a surprise appearance to launch a faster, lighter and more powerful iPad 2. And well, in our top story tonight, sources have confirmed to us that the Congress will get 60 seats. Sources have also said that a joint statement is expected to be held tomorrow. In other developments, earlier, Round 3 of talks between the Congress and the DMK had failed to deliver any returns and had ended inconclusively. And in what was being considered as another spoiler this morning, the fourth set of talks due this morning never quite happened. Now, Ghulam Nabi Azad, the Tamil Nadu in charge for Congress, skipped the meeting with the Chief Minister. Both the leaders were scheduled to meet on today after Wednesday night saw the third round of seat-sharing talks ending inconclusively. Now, according to sources, the Congress, which contested 48 seats during the last assembly elections, is demanding more seats and wants a bigger share of the pie as well in terms of power. Now, the DMK's high-level meeting, stated for the 5th of March, is expected to focus on demands by the Congress and the election manifesto. Now, meanwhile, the bigger game plan aside, the DMK is also in talks with smaller outfits. The Purachi Bharatam, a caste-based outfit today, held its first round of seat-sharing talks with the DMK. And while the cries for rescheduling the polls only seem to be growing louder, with the political spectrum resonating within similar demands. Now, beginning with the BJP, followed by the CPM, incumbents DMK, Vaiko today, and now the AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha has written to the Election Commissioner for shifting dates. The AIADMK has cited Class 10, Class 12 and college exams as the reasons. It has also argued that Tamil New Year celebrations could hamper the election process. And the party has asked the election dates to be shifted to April end or the beginning of May. Well, we have been discussing the polls, but with the latest barrage of demands by various political outfits to delay the polls, a new twist has been added. Of course, the stakeholders this time is a student community that is not quite impressed. Now, our executive editor Sanjay Pinto dwelled on that big question, the demands by the parties, the impact of political campaigning on students and the logistical constraints confronting the Election Commission. Take a look.
The Election Commission, sir, had a meeting with various political parties before the election date was announced, and most parties in fact opted for a single phase polling. When the Election Commission can ask parties about single phase or multiple phase polling, why can't they also seek the opinion of political parties, sir, on the dates of elections?
Actually, the schedule of elections is determined by the Election Commission based on various considerations, including taking note of festivals, if any, possibility of floods, cyclones, etc. Now, this is a timetable which has been worked out, taking into account the elections to be held in 4 states and a union territory. Now, what had happened was, of course, in Tamil Nadu, generally, since the elections were held in May, therefore, probably the political parties thought that this time, as a matter of routine, it would also be fixed for possibly late April, end of April, or May, early May. But Election Commission has the discretion and the flexibility to fix.
So, but my question is, when they can ask political parties about single phase or multiple phase, why can't they ask about the dates, sir?
No, dates, of course, never in the history the Election Commission asks for the dates from the political parties. At best, they may ask the Chief Electoral Officer on the exam schedule, on the festivals, etc. Now, what has happened is the state government, while fixing the exam schedule, they did not think, or they have not taken note of the possibility of Election Commission fixing the election schedule in a way that might affect the exam.
Never in the history has the Election Commission asked political parties about suggestions for dates, but then of course never in the history of Tamil Nadu also have we ever had a 1 month gap between polling and counting. But Sri Prapanch, a college student in fact, is your Prapanch, the fact that you will have to go through the campaigning and all that, have to prepare while campaigning goes on, to what extent are you going to be hit, and when are your exams likely to be?
How do you expect us to prepare for the exams amid these noises? You see, if there's a lot of noises in your room, how will you be able to do this bulletin? And it's a democratic country.
Yeah, we have, fortunately here we have a noiseless soundproof studio, but yes, your point is taken.
Yeah, but this is a democratic country and I'm a first time voter. They should have asked, us before deciding the dates of the election. And as far as we are concerned, the election date should be at the end of April or in the beginning of March.
Do you think the election commissions are going by your rich experience in the election commission? Do you think they will actually give in to, probably be amenable to a change in the date, not just going by appeals from political parties, but also by practical difficulties, also views raised by the common people for whom this entire election is held, views raised by our Sri Prapanch in our studio and several others, the teachers, the parents. Do you think the Election Commission may change the date? I know it's a bit of a logistical issue here, but do you think they'll be even open to even consider changing the date, sir?
Actually, I may not be able to say anything on that, except to say that Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Pondicherry, it's a common date. That is one. Two is there's another option or solution, that is to reschedule the examinations. Now, I am not in a position to really say whether Election Commission will like to consider a change in the election schedule. But an option which is easily available to the state government is, having regard to the facts which have been indicated or the concerns expressed, is to reschedule the examinations.
Not just the students, but also parents who are affected. Many of them have to stay up early in the morning till late at night, also helping their children prepare for exams. We are now joined by a very concerned parent, Devi, on the phone line. Devi, thank you very much for joining us and thank you for taking that break. You've left your child who's preparing for the exam to join us here. Probably you wish you had a soundproof room like we've got a soundproof studio.
Sanjay, yes, thank you very much.
What is your concern, Devi? What is your precise concern, and how is your child going to cope this time around?
See, Sanjay, the basic concern for anyone here is, especially for a mother of a boy like me, boys achieve the potential only just before the exam, and they can maintain the momentum to perform and achieve only for that particular period of time. And, given that, the 12th exams are the defining moments in their career. To have cricket matches and elections coming in the way is a bit too much. The cricket match you can shut off. But how do I shut off the poll campaigns, the loudspeakers, the traffic jam, and then keep the child in the frame of mind where he can focus only on the education? It would be easier for people to say it's just the exam, but it's absolutely unfair to our children. And I don't understand the logic of, conducting a poll, conducting an election on one particular day and putting the results in cold storage for one entire month. You might as well have the election on 10th of May and then declare the results on May 13th, isn't it? So let the exams get done in one go.
Peer Mohammed, low voter turnout is what Ms. Jayalalitha says is likely to happen. Also, that other important question of New Year, the Tamil New Year, also Telugu New Year, we are told that a lot of significant, there's a significant Telugu population as well in Tamil Nadu. Low voter turnout will benefit which side?
Yes, Sanjay, this is going to, that is what the opposition is worrying about. Both AIDMK Supremo Jayalalitha and MDMK General Secretary Vaiko have expressed concern about low voter turnout, because this is April 13th is a Wednesday, and next day is because of Ambedkar's birth anniversary, it is a government holiday. And also it is going to be a long weekend, and people might go out on a holiday and they may not turn out to vote. That is quite an alarming concern from the political parties, particularly from the opposition.
To Mr. Naresh Gupta, sir, also, do you believe that when you have, a low voter turnout, that bogus votes could be cast? What has been your experience in the Election Commission so far, sir? There's an apprehension that bogus votes could be cast. A lot of malpractice could take place when there's low voter turnout.
No, there is of course that apprehension that if people are not there, for the absent electors, some other people may be brought to impersonate. But low voters turnout also, the concern is that the candidate who is elected will not really will reflect the true choice of the electorate or the people. So low voters turnout is of course a matter of concern, and the effort has been to improve the turnout through IEC campaigns, that is information, education and communication campaigns.
All right.
But probably I have a feeling that it may not be significantly affected, the turnout may not be significantly affected by the fact that the Tamil New Year's Day is on the following day. But the other aspect which has to be kept in mind also is that the longer the period of campaigning, the more is the chance of malpractices, and we have had a lot of distribution of money and biryani, liquor, etc. So from that angle it needs to be welcomed.
And well, the UPA finds itself in a tight spot after Apex Court quashes PJ Thomas's appointment. We get you more details on the other side.